Hello everyone, and welcome to Rockin' Reviews. My name is Frank Fesca, and I am a junior at Michigan State University. I am aspiring to become a film critic, and I thought it would be a good idea to open up a channel and start making video reviews. I may be a little late to the party, as YouTube has become as big as it has, but better late than never, right? Now, while I'm primarily focusing on movies, I also love video games, music, and television. In terms of music, I'm a big rock and roll fan, so if I do a review on it, then it will most likely be on an old band, or a concert of an older band, or a concert of a new band, or an, a new album from a brand new band that you probably don't know about. Um, so I thought my first review today would be on Citizen Kane. Um, this film is regarded by a lot of people to be the greatest film ever made. Whenever there's top lists by journalists or critics, it's always at the very top. And I finally got the chance to see it just the other day. My initial reaction to it is that it is a little overrated. Now I will get to why after I do a little bit about the story and the movie itself. So without further ado, let's start reviewing Citizen Kane. Released in 1941, Citizen Kane is the debut of Orson Welles. Not only does he produce, write, and direct this movie, but he also is the main character, Charles Foster Kane. The film tells the story of Kane. It shows his rise to power as he takes control of the New York Enquirer, and then how he manages to lose everything. Orson Welles gives a fantastic performance as Kane, but what I really loved about this movie is that his life is told through flashbacks. Now, the movie begins with Kane dying. It is a famous scene where he drops a snow globe and says, "Rosebud." Rosebud. After that scene, we are introduced to a reporter who is given the task of going around to the people Kane knew and seeing what they might have known about Rosebud, or what Kane meant by his dying word. So the rest of the film is really just stories about Kane. We get to hear people talk about what they thought about him and their relationship with him. Two best stories come from his old friend Jedediah Leland and his second wife, Susan Alexander Kane. The acting is good all around. Joseph Cotton plays Jedediah, and I loved how the relationship went from a good friendship in the beginning to nothing in the end. And then Ruth Warrick plays Emily Monroe Norton Kane, his first wife, and there is a really good scene with them where they're having breakfast, and it's kind of like they keep cutting to like different days of having breakfast, and in the first time, Kane is like telling her how great she looks, and they both are dressing nice, and then as each day progresses, they like stop talking to each other and they start like doing other things and start talking about other stuff, and it was a really great scene, and both those actors nailed that.
People will think
what I tell them to think.
Also, Dorothy Cummingore plays his second wife, Susan, and she's also great. Like I said in the beginning, I feel like this movie is a little overrated. This movie did a lot for films. It has a ton of innovations, like the effects and the camera angles actually mean a lot in this movie. There are times when, Wells will focus the camera in a certain direction, and it's not just there. It has meaning behind it. And you notice that because there's usually some sort of angle to the camera. It's not always just straight on. There's always some sort of angle or a close-up or, a medium shot or something like that, and each one usually has a lot of meaning, and those types of things with this movie really helped shape cinema. And to me, that's why most people consider it the greatest of all time. I do think it's a very good film. um, like I said, the acting's great, the effects, the music, the score is great too. It adds a lot, especially even in the beginning, right when it starts. The camera pans over to this huge castle that Kane built for himself, and the score is just boom right there. It's very prominent within the film. Um, the one thing I don't really like about this movie is it's slow. Um, it's just a lot of talking, and this movie is in black and white. It's an old movie, so I can see a lot of people will be turned off by just a lot of the dialogue and the pacing of the movie. But in the end, I do believe this is a great movie. I think anyone who's going into cinema or anyone who loves movies in general needs to see this movie. I may think it's overrated, but I'm not about to say that it's bad in any way. It's not. I just don't think it's the greatest movie ever made. I think there have been just some incredible movies over the years that this film was always regarded to be better as, and I just don't agree with that. In fact, if you want my real recommendation for what classic black and white movie is the very best, if I were to consider it the very best movie ever made from back then due to innovations and its influence in cinema, I would definitely say It's a Wonderful Life is the best. That film also has some great messages about life and how we all matter and stuff like that. I can do my own review on that if you guys would like me to do one. But this is a classic. It is a very good film, and I think, like I said, if anybody who likes movies, or if anybody who's going into cinema needs to see Citizen Kane. Even if the first 10 minutes you're really bored out of your mind, shame on you. It is very good. Do not be closed-minded about its age or about it being in black and white. It is definitely a very good film. Now, I do have a rating system. I will be rating everything on a 10-point scale. Now, 10 on my scale would not be perfect. It is just the very best, the very best that that a film could be, or at the very top video game, something like that. And then 0 is obviously the worst. When looking at Citizen Kane, I think I would give it an 8. It's not perfect. I do think it is not the best movie ever made. But, it has a great cast. It's a great story. It has a great score. And it is very innovative with its effects and its camera angles and stuff like that. So yeah, there's my review of Citizen Kane. Now in the future, I have no real organization to what I'll review next, really. It can sometimes be really random. Sometimes it'll have some meaning. A lot of the time, it might just be recent things that I got to see. Like, I go to the movies sometimes, so I'll just review the newest movies that are out that I got a chance to see, or the newest games I got, or the newest music. But some of the time, I'll just review something that I may have saw from years ago or something like that. So yeah, if anyone has any requests, please leave them in the comment section below, and I might do one. Alright, thanks for watching. I hope everyone enjoyed. Leave a comment, rate, and subscribe. Okay, have a nice day, and bye.